Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to 2025. Welcome to Mini RPG of the Week Season 5 finale. I am looking forward to kicking the year off right. I know we're halfway through January, but this counts. This counts as kicking the year off right with some excellent mini RPG action. It's been a little while since I've actually managed to cast any mini RPG, so I, for one, am very excited to see what exactly went down in Season 5, to see exactly how these players are doing as we get on into this one as well. The great news is that I have, I think, managed to successfully make it on into the game, at least in time. I got jump scared by a couple of different updates along the way as well, but I am now making it in. I just need to find the correct room, and then we're going to be good to go. Today is just going to be seeding for our event this weekend. I believe no players eliminated today. We are going all the way through to Sunday with the 16 players that enter today as well. And that does mean that we are looking forward to seeing what the action is like. Looking forward then to seeing how exactly these players look on our 5 maps going into tomorrow as well. And what exactly they're bringing to the table. Who's looking practiced, I suppose, is really the main thing as well. We'll be kicking things off in just a couple of minutes here, as I'm going to double check what exactly the map names are. It's been a busy few months, and so I have not managed to really keep up with what exactly has been going on in Season 5 as well. But I do know that our maps are Runes of Malkia, Laning Phase, which sounds worryingly like an what do we call them? MOBA references. Look, is League of Legends sneaking in there? Is Dota sneaking in there? God, is Smite sneaking into our mini RPG of the week? Terrifying. Pirate Bay and Sanshiu. I hope that's how you pronounce that one. Thank you very much for the raid, Abby, and welcome everyone to Mini RPG of the Week. It's perfect timing. We are literally about to kick things off here, as we are playing with the best players from the last 4 months of competition in this competition. It is Trackmania. It's a racing game, but I promise it's not very complicated. You'll be able to figure out what's going on very quickly. And the style is mini RPG, which means there's a lot of tricks, a lot of flips. The cars will be flying everywhere. And even though these players are very, very good at what they do, even though these are the best 16 players that we have, there's still going to be a lot of crashes. There's still going to be an awful lot of drama. The players are warming up on the server at the moment, and I can tell you that some of them are impressing the others already with what's going on just on our warm-up thing. I should double check whether or not my in-game is loading. It is. We're getting players ready, and we are confirmed about to get ready to go here. Players are saying ready in the server. My name, by the way, is Nua Lake. You may have noticed if you've joined us on the raid, but hey, that's not important. You're not here to watch me, even though you are watching me at the moment. You're here to watch some very, very good Trackmania competition. I hope you had a good stream, Abby. I hope things went well over there, and I hope everyone's having a good weekend. What a way to start off the year. And hey, we don't need to look at my face for all that much longer. Great news, everyone. I'm going to be discovering the tracks along with you, because I simply have not managed to pay attention in the last few months. I'm sorry. It's not my fault. What I do know is that we've always had a very high standard of track in Mini RPG of the Week. And that is going to be no exception as we kick things off with the Runes of Malkia. I believe by Raistlin, which is very exciting. Raistlin, of course, a very good player in their own right. I notice not one of our 16 players today, which is a little bit unfortunate, but should still be fun. Now, I'm going to need everyone to focus up a little bit. Thank you, Import. Don't get distracted by my beautiful face. We got to focus in on the format. Today is seeding, so we're going to be playing through all 5 of the maps that we have for the weekend, one by one, and the players are going to be playing in knockout mode. Now, you will not have seen this mode anywhere else before. This is unique to Mini RPG of the Week, unless someone has stolen it recently, and well, the way it works is that it's kind of like a Cup of the Day knockout format in that the players will all race against each other, you know, we'll play multiple rounds. But if you are in the bottom 4 players in the first round, then in the next round, you will race against the other 3 players who were in the bottom 4 with you. And then the bottom 2 from that will be knocked out, and so on and so on. So the trick is to continue on. Look, there's a mod on the map. I can't do anything about it. I'm sorry, Zederate. I'm sorry. I'm not prepared. I did not load the mod in advance. So, I suppose the trick is here that we're in warm-up, 1 minute of warm-up for the players, and as you can see, it's already getting a little bit stressful out there. There's already a bit of crashing going on. We'll jump on board with Scandir, because if there's anyone who's going to give us a good tour of the map to kick things off, it will be Scandir. Look, if the mod loads, the mod loads, and if it doesn't load, it doesn't load. I'll keep hitting escape, and we'll try to get the mod loaded, and hey, fingers crossed. Rest assured, the map looks significantly more beautiful than this, I'm sure, if the mod is loaded. There are a couple of different styles of mini RPG as a style in Trackmania. And really, you know, when we break it down, you're kind of looking at things like transitional, where it's all about controlling your speed, making sure you get smooth landings every time you go over a little jump. Sometimes it's about the car control, making sure that through awkward landings, you, again, keep your speed up, that you kind of manage to stay on all 4s and keep those wheels on the ground as much as possible. Sometimes it's about losing speed and regaining speed, accelerating where you can. Sometimes it's smooth and flowy and just trying to get all the way through. And so far, from what we've seen of this map, it's definitely leaning a little bit more towards that kind of awkward transitional style, minimizing airtime, making sure that your wheels stay on the ground. As you can see, Scandir there in this warm-up overtook Goliath a little bit just by managing to take that jump a little bit lower. Again, landing a little bit earlier, and it just continues to work. Just continues to pull away. That's what we're going to be looking at when we actually get into competitive rounds as well, is looking for players to get their cars on the ground as early as possible, lining yourself up for the next turn without sacrificing speed along the way as well. And it should be fun. And hey, you're going to see plenty of this as well. You're going to see these players clip. You're going to see crashes. You're going to see players crash on out. And I guess I mean that in the modern sense of the word as well. No, hopefully not. Look, these are all lovely people. Nobody's going to be flaming on the server, right? Mods, admins, no one's going to be flaming on the server. These people are all nice, right? Well, warm-up is done. We are live. The first round of Mini RPG of the week. The Season 5 finale. We've been going for what? 2-3 years at this point? Jesus Christ. It's too much. It's too much. You can see over on the left side of your screen, 8 players will go to the danger zone in this round. So nobody will get eliminated in this round, but the bottom 8 players will be in the danger zone for the next round. That means they will be racing against each other, and the bottom 4 from that will be eliminated. There's a bracket available, exclamation mark bracket in the chat if you want to see what's going on, who these players are. There's not a huge amount of information there just yet, because this is the first round, and it is, well, it's crashy at the back. As we stay on board with Deloitte, they have managed to climb up to 5th place, and so we'll jump a little bit further down to Silo, a name that I'm afraid I don't recognize, but they are here in the top 16. They are fighting alongside everyone else, the best mini RPG players in the world. Well, and that's a respawn. They're gone a little ways back at the moment, and that's going to make life a little bit tougher. You really don't want to DNF in this format as well. If you DNF, sometimes, I believe it is an automatic disqualification if you DNF, so still looking to finish. No players have finished just yet. Sidster, the first player to finish there, a knockout timer of 50 seconds, so generous, plenty of time for the players to get to the finish line, even if they're a long way back. We don't want cheap knockouts in this. We want players to manage to make it to the finish line where possible. As I'm going to hope that the mod loads. The mod has not loaded. I'm sorry. Pachungo tried to join, but is not whitelisted. Meanwhile, Scandir? Where is Scandir? Is Scandir... Uh-oh. Scandir, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, those of you who are new, is arguably the best mini RPG of the week player, arguably the best mini RPG player in the world. Round 1 has dropped straight into the danger zone. Is Scandir here? I hope so. I apparently DNF'd that round. I'm not playing. I'm spectating. Don't worry about it. So now we have over on the left side of our screen the danger zone. The players who are fighting for it. Scandir appears not to be here, which is, you know, mildly worrying. But hey, nobody's getting eliminated today. Worst case scenario, Scandir, I guess, just shows up as the worst seed for tomorrow and just wins the whole thing anyway. That sounds reasonable. This line over on the left side of our screen at the moment, you can see DOG sitting just below it at the moment behind Silo, is the cutoff line. Now, obviously everyone else is still racing in this round as well, but nobody else matters. The battle is DOG versus Silo at the moment. Sapphire loses Nartise, also in danger in this round, but as long as they can beat enough other players who are in the danger zone, they stay alive for the next round. DOG is having a rough time of it at the back there here on Runes of Malkaia. And Silo is just looking to get around the track, is behind Strab at the moment, but Strab is not in the danger zone. And so overtaking them would not do a huge amount for Silo in any case, but you still want to be quick. That's a respawn for Silo. DOG has DNF'd, and so DOG will definitely be eliminated in this round, unfortunately, as Silo manages to stay up. Silo likely to still be in the danger zone again in the next round, though. And that's pretty tough. Being in the danger zone, it's tiring. It is stressful, psychologically scarring in many ways, as we will keep track of the players who are in the danger zone the most often as well over the course of the day. That's a good finish, though, for Silo. They will finish in 14th, safe in this round, beating out both myself, our admin Bayron, who is not playing, Scandir, who appears to have disconnected from the server, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll figure out what's going on there, because we'd love to see Scandir drive today. And this time around, there are 4 players in the danger zone. We will be eliminating 2 players, so this is going to get a little bit more serious this time around, because all 4 of the players in the danger zone are actually competing. We'll stay on board with Silo to kick this round off. Again, there was an early crash there. Was that one of our danger zone players? It looks like it was. Strab struggling off the start line. They will be at risk of elimination in this round. Silo versus Aura. You can see Aura just in front there, and the pack of players just in front of Silo as well. And that was Aura clipping and crashing out, having to respawn a long way back the track, so Silo's safe for the time being as well. But that was Silo. They respawned on track just in front of Aura there. So now Aura is back in front of Silo once again, and Aura just needs to keep things clean from here on out. 7th place to Silo's 11th, with both of them being in the danger zone. Hab, the other player who's in the danger zone at the moment, but they are just in front of Aura on track. Aura's clipping, crashing. Strab has gained a little bit as well, but is still 5 seconds behind Aura, and so not looking like Aura is going to be in a lot of trouble over the rest of this round. Over the rest of it, Hab does make it to the checkpoint up in front. Aura slides backwards into the checkpoint as well, and so will be okay for the time being. Strab has gained a lot, though. Strab is now right behind Aura, and this is a race to the line. One of these players getting eliminated. One of them will make it through, and there's not a lot of track left, as Strab could still make the push, could try and overtake Aura and send them out early on in this first map. One last jump to go. Aura looks to have lost speed. Aura's gonna clip on out. Strab doesn't make it either. Look, there goes Aura into the distance, and Aura will cross on the safe finish. That was a bit of drama at the finish line in one of our early rounds, and unfortunately for Strab, they will be eliminated in, I believe, 13th place after 2 rounds, but that got very, very close, as Strab very nearly made it into that risky fin up at the top. The drama doesn't end just yet for Aura, though, as they are once again in the danger zone. They were in the bottom 4 of players who made it through that round. This time around, they face up against Sidzer, against Sapphire, and against Pokeu, who are 3 other very good mini RPG players, as is everyone who has made it tonight. Sidzer kicking things off well, Aura kicking things off well this round too. Mrotw out in front. I think with Scandir gone, you'd expect to see Mrotw pick up the top points in this race. I believe the way the format is working is the same as what we did back in Season 3 as well. We will be playing 5 maps today, but the players will be able to discard their worst result across the 5 maps. So 4 maps count, and it does mean if you have issues like Scandir had in this one as well, hey, if you can reconnect and manage to win the other 4 maps, that would still count as the best points possible that you could get. 4 wins. We'll wait and see. Sapphire currently in the danger zone and currently under threat a long way down, losing a bit of speed there, but that's still going to work out nicely for Sapphire, landing on the wheels and managing to climb on through. Pokeyu in fact has dropped behind, but Aura is off in the distance, currently 5th place in this round and 2-3 seconds in front of Sapphire, feeling pretty good about finishing out this map cleanly. Sidzer, the other player in the danger zone, is in front of Aura here. Sidzer, moving slowly, is going to go for the safe fin. Can Sapphire catch in time? No, they will not, as Sidzer managed to get across the safe fin to the left. And Sidzer and Aura are their two players who survived the danger zone this time around. Aura surviving 2 danger zones consecutively, and the next round will not be in the danger zone. Feeling pretty good about that. Yeah, the hard finish for Strab. You were kind of caught by it a little bit there. It looked so good. I have to tell you, I'm assuming you weren't playing with cars on. Aura had clipped and was going slow, and you very nearly managed to catch. It got close. It got close, but hey, 4 more maps to play after this, and you won't have to see this hard finish again, at least today. And we'll just reset everything for tomorrow. This is seeding for the knockout stage for tomorrow, as Hab is having a rough time of it here at the start line. But luckily for them, they are not in the danger zone to kick things off. Deloid and Yogg battling at the moment. Yogg a little bit slow off the start line, and they are both trying to catch up to Artis, who is a very good player. That's not someone you want to see in one of your still relatively early danger zones, as they're always going to be tough to beat. Same goes for Lucis, who's currently leading the round. We have Deloid and Yogg back in 6th and 7th, and meanwhile their rivals in the danger zone sit in 2nd and 4th, about a second ahead at the moment. As well, we'll stay on board with Artis, as look at this. I mean, you have the danger zone, you have 6th and 7th, and then Lucis and Artis are 1st and 2nd. Not a huge amount to be done there for Deloid or for Yogg. Sidzer's up in the mix for the top 3 at the moment as well, and we'll stay on board with this top 3 just to see if the mistake comes through, just to see if Lucis or Artis feel like giving their rivals a chance. It doesn't look like it. Both of them will make it through into the risky fin, 1st and 2nd place. And that's pretty tough. Hey, what are you going to do about it? The answer, not much, as Yogg and Deloid, the 2 players from Unity Gaming, the same club as our original founder, our mini RPG of the week creator, Zeta8. But they will drop out in 6th and 8th place in this round. We'll see where they finished up on the scoreboard as well. And Aura is going to wrap back around, is going to end up in the danger zone again, finishing sideways. And if we take a quick look at the scoreboard, you can see that was a 9th and 10th place finish for Yogg and Deloid in that round. No picks and Aura 1v1. That's the stage we're at. As the danger zone drops to just 2 players, one of them will be eliminated. It becomes a series of head-to-head battles for your life from here on out. This time around, no picks and Aura are the 2 players at risk, and off the start line it is Aura just slightly behind no picks in this round, but immediately managing to overtake. They are wheel to wheel through these early sections of the track. You can see them both in the French skin there, both of them representing the home nation. And well, yeah, look, hey, there's a lot of French flags on the server, as is expected, as Aura goes into a wall. He is now going to be several seconds behind no picks. Yeah, look at it expand out to 2.5, 3, 4 seconds behind no picks. And so we'll stay on board with no picks, because at this point, without a big crash from no picks, Aura is done for. Wheel to wheel with Artis up front. Morpio has been having a good time of it. We've definitely seen them up near the top. Oh, this is rough. No pick slow. Going to make it through, but that's a big time loss. And you can see Aura has gained fully on no picks. More speed through this section. Overtaking. No pick, but Aura clipped. Aura clipped on the way through. Is still there, but had the lead. Has lost it again with a couple of turns left. One right-hander to go. And then it's left into the finish line. And that risky fin, we have seen it as a risk for some players so far. No picks looks to have the speed. Will make it through, and Aura was given a chance, thrown the lifeline, not quite able to grab hold of it towards the end of the track there. So unfortunately Aura will be going no further in this map. Finishing up in 8th place. This time around it's going to be Lucis versus Hab. Habe? I don't know. Hey, definitely probably one of those. I do like the little pig beside their name. I'm assuming that's what that is. You got the little nostrils. Oh, the mod loaded! Oh, look at it! It's beautiful! Good job, mod. Everything's so... Is it meant to be this sparkly? God, that's distracting. Okay, hang on. I'm not being distracted. Well, Lucis has already crashed it while I was distracted. So, that'll happen. So we'll jump on board with Hab, who is all the way up front, sitting in 4th place, having a great round of it at the moment. As, my god, someone has spilled glitter out all over this track. The runes of Malkia, as they were always meant to be played. Can Hab keep clean from here to the end? There's a line that we've not seen many players going for, staying left on that section, going a little bit higher. It does leave you a little bit more awkwardly placed to take the left-hander down the hill. Afterwards, Hab crashes, moving slow, can lose his gain still so far. Back though, Hab has crashed again. Here comes Lucis Hab with another respawn. Lucis has crashed on the way around the corner. Hab, stop respawning, brother. Oh god, it's a mess at the back of the track here. Lucis finally makes it a little further forward, and Hab is just in the mud. In the mud, stuck at the back. Did not realize how far back Lucis was, I think. Did not realize that that round was still eminently winnable. Lucis is going to miss the risky fin as well. And there it goes. Hab officially eliminated in that round, but didn't make life easy for themselves. As there goes the last remaining non-French player. The German will be kicked on out in that round. Our top 6 is all French, and it'll be Scissor versus Lucis in this round. Lucis had a bit of a nightmare in the last round, but you don't have to beat everyone. You just have to beat your rival in the danger zone, and Lucis did enough in the last round to do that. This time around, Scissor might be a little bit more of a tall task, as Scissor has been driving very, very well on these runes of Malkia so far. And is currently going pretty quick, but it's a very good round start for Lucis as well. Both of them, to be fair, have been quick when we've seen them get a clean round so far today. Oh, there's a bit of a crash from Scissor. Not going to be fully crashed on out, but moving slowly and not going to have the speed to make that full respawn required back to the previous checkpoint. And that is something we talk about with mini RPG sometimes, is recognizing when you need to respawn. Scissor, sure, managed to get the car back on all 4 wheels, managed to keep driving, but was never going to have the speed to make that next jump, and ended up costing himself a couple more seconds with the attempt as well. Lucis this time around, survives this section of track, only a little bit left to go. We've seen crashes through there, we've not seen many crashes at the end. We've seen people miss the risky fin, but as long as you recognize it and go for the safe finish instead, that should not be a 7-second time loss. So Lucis will survive a second consecutive danger zone. It's Scissor who will drop out in 6th place in this round. A little bit tough. But, okay, still makes it across. Turtles across the line. Style points right at the end there. And Scissor will finish in 6th place. As a reminder, this is only our first map of 5 today. We still have 4 more chances for player to pick up points. And by pick up points, I mean avoid getting points. We are playing a little bit of a golf format, as the less points you have, the better. You get 1 point for coming first, you get 2 points for coming second, 3 points for coming third, and so on and so on. All of your points across 4 maps will be added together, and from there we will work out who the player with the lowest points is for seeding purposes tomorrow. Back to the danger zone, back to the action. No Picks versus Artis in this round. This was where we saw Scissor crash in the last round. No Picks and Artis both survive. And they will continue on around the track for the moment. The gap, about 0.4 of a second. That is one mistake from either player away from expanding massively over the course of this round. There is a bit of a mistake from No Picks, and the gap will just balloon on out from 0.4 to over a full second. As we'll jump on board with Artis up front. That's a very clean transition through that section of the track. It is for No Picks as well. As Artis is clipped just in front, Artis has crashed and No Picks is through. And No Picks all of a sudden in prime position to clear out Artis, to put Artis out in 5th place and move on forward on this first track. It's looking good. It's looking clean. It's feeling good for No Picks, as they will move on through into 3rd place in that round, into our top 5 altogether. As Lucis has stayed alive through multiple danger zones, but will be heading to another, as they just full crash. Sure, just full crash the risky fin. Why wouldn't you? It's not like it changes the outcome of this round for anyone at this point, as Lucis will finish in 5th place in this round. Artis will be eliminated, and it'll be No Picks versus Lucis in the top 4 for a spot on the podium on map 1. Here we go. Danger Zone, Lucis versus No Picks. The last 3 rounds on this track to determine a winner. As a reminder, if you want to keep track of the places as well as things go, you can just type in !bracket into the Twitch chat and something will come up. and hopefully things will work on out. Possibly because I have owner permissions on that bracket. I need to do some editing on it at some point, but it'll be fine. We'll work it out as we go, and we'll keep an eye on the action because Lucis is just a little ways behind No Picks to start this round off. The gap not huge, 3/10. This is what we saw in the last round as well between Artis and No Picks. Lucis landing very high and kind of on the penalty grass up the wall there, but is still in the mix, is no longer in the mix. A full crash will send them spiraling back. Mrotw taking a very different approach to that jump at the back end of the track to everyone else. Going for the kind of 180, 360 in the air. Maybe a little bit safer, guaranteeing that he's going to land, but definitely a little bit slower than the kind of slingshot that we've seen some players going for, landing on the right side of the car and keeping speed if done correctly. As No Picks will finish the round in first place. A good time for 108.3 is pretty impressive as well. And we'll definitely have them feeling confident heading towards the last round, as Lucis has had their struggles with that risky fin all map long, but we'll have no more struggles as they head gently into that sweet night. For a little while. Hey, more tracks to come after this one. But we're into a top 3, and with this top 3, guaranteed our top 2 will have No Picks in it, despite having been through, what, 3 danger zones already? No Picks is guaranteed a top 2 on map 1. As it'll be Mrotw and Goliath racing to see who gets the honor of battling against No Picks in that final round on the track. At the moment, edge is with Mrotw. The advantage held. It's only 3/10 through the first few sections of track. Goliath landing a little bit wider, losing speed on that transition, but still within striking distance of Mrotw, continuing to just lose speed. Goliath has somehow kept the car on track, but you can see those advantages to Mrotw. The time lost by Goliath through those small mistakes, minor errors throughout the track, but having kept the car on track. If Mrotw is slow, if Mrotw, for example, goes for that large jump as they have before, Goliath could maybe have clawed things back, but full crashes for Goliath is going to send Mrotw through to the next round. At least that's what it looks like. I mean, barring truly catastrophic errors from Mrotw on the finish line, is going to have to go for the safe... Mrotw, what are you doing, buddy? There was clearly not enough speed there to go for the risky fin. Mrotw went for it anyway. It'll work out as Goliath was just too far back. But the gap ended up being only 2 seconds, where it should have probably been about 8. Goliath will take third place on map 1. Mrotw will move through into our final 2 to face off against No Picks. And I'll be honest, folks, I think my money's on Mrotw. Very quick driver, has looked very good. But at the same time, No Picks has survived an awful lot of danger zones so far on the track. We'll see how things shake on out. Mrotw versus No Picks, and it's Mrotw with a slight advantage off of the start line. The gap about 1/10.5 through our first couple of checkpoints, maybe even extending a little bit. Mrotw really managing to minimize the airtime through those first few turns. No Picks went wide around that one. Keeping the car out of the wall, though, means that he kept the speed and has kept Mrotw within a few car lengths. 2.5 tenths then through the ring checkpoint. 2 tenths. No Picks gaining a little bit more speed than Mrotw through that middle section of the track, but Mrotw with a better transition and will start to pull that gap back out. No Picks with the clip. An awkward landing, sending him spiraling down 5 tenths to 3.5 seconds. Mrotw's safer flip has done him well throughout this map. He's managed to survive an awful long way, and it will be Mrotw picking up full points for the first track. And by full points, I mean the least amount of points. It's 0.75 points is, I believe, the amount. Just a little bit confusing for first place. It's not 1 point, but it is 2 points for second place. And that is what will go to No Picks after the first track. Or 1 point for Mrotw. Hey, you know what? It doesn't really matter. We'll wait and see how exactly things do shake on out from here on out. Possibly I'll be honest, possibly the thing is fully broken, the bracket. So nobody look at it. It's my fault. I had a busy week and I didn't manage to look at it, and it was I was the one who set it up like a year ago at this point. And so if it's broken, I'm sorry, Bayron. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But hey, we at least have the other one, and so we can keep an eye on what was going with the admin bracket that's secret, that none of you get to look at. And we will head from the Ruins of Malkaia on to our second track. We're heading straight on into laning phase. As Scandir is back. Scandir has made it. Didn't even need a first round. Didn't even need a first map to feel confident about the rest of it. A little bit unfortunate, the timing to DC right before we kick things off on the first track, but should be okay. I'd just like to point out that I do appreciate the comments in Twitch chat calling me handsome. Even as you get blinded by the light reflecting off my bald head. Jump scare. We're back on through though, and we have 30 seconds left in this warm-up. I'm, once again, learning this track as we go a little bit, figuring out exactly what things look like in this. I'm missing all of the context of previous seasons where we had the mapper introductions as well. We had questionnaires from all the mappers. It's been my fault. I've been busy this season. I was not able to do the weekly broadcasts for it and chase down that information. Although I'd say I chased down the information. It was always Zeterate. Admin Zeterate who chased it down for us. God bless. Overall, great to see Mini RPG of the Week still going, even after Zeterate has kind of stepped back a little bit. Bayron doing a great job with Season 5 so far. And here we are at the end of Season 5. 8 players will be in danger to kick things off once again after our first round here, as we learn the track as we go. As we said, definitely a very transitional start to the track just there. The classic mini RPG style of forcing people to show off the car control, and it is causing problems early in this first round as well. And then some awkward bounces through the middle of the track, trying to maintain speed into that bounce. Lucis is going to clip a wheel on the inside, and Pokeu is managing to sit near the top. Skandir has managed to connect and successfully start the map this time around, which is always exciting. So we'll wait and see how that plays on out. Definitely a bit of a feature of this track, those awkward bounces, having to get the backflip and hit the little bump just at the right angle to send yourself careening into the distance, to send yourself flying over those gaps and manage to land on your wheels as well. Not as easy as some of these players are making it look. You do definitely need to position the car at least a little bit correctly, or things will just go horribly wrong. And then through on to that finish as well. Not sure that there is a risky fin towards the end here. Haven't seen it yet. I believe it is just a finish. A little bit unusual for a mini RPG map, but maybe I'm missing something, and I'll keep an eye out for it across later rounds as well as we continue on through. Few players left out on track here, as no one will be eliminated in this round. Of course, Sidzer's going to finish backwards in the first round, but Sidzer will unfortunately be heading into the danger zone alongside Aura, alongside Sapphire, Diogi, Mrotw, and a few other very good players. It's going to be a spicy first danger zone, as it is most definitely the most dangerous time in the match for a lot of these players. You know, if you're hoping to get top seeding, if you're hoping to head towards the top of the leaderboard for tomorrow's match, well, I mean, this is a dangerous round. You can see it. Players like Nualaic, Bayron in the danger zone is, well, we're both in spectator, don't worry about it. But for players like, you know, I mean, Sidzer, No Picks, players who did very well on the previous map, if you're looking towards a top seeding, you could still just get caught against some of these other very good players early on in the match. You could end up with a very early elimination. You want to try and make it a little bit further, though. Let's see how things shake on out, as Sidzer is currently in kind of the middle of the pack. He's dropped a little way back from that leading pack early on the track, but has managed to survive. The speed doesn't look great, but Sidzer does make it over that jump, and so will be able to keep on driving, and that's good enough to propel him up into 7th place, 6th place now, as Aura is struggling towards the back. A little bit of a crash there, racing against Silo, and both of them are trying to catch Habe, but Habe is a long way up the track at the moment. Deloweed will drop behind Habe up the track, but is right alongside, and both of them are looking to keep safe in this first round. As we'll just see, does either of them end up with a big crash? Deloweed just missed to the left, gone a long way away from where he was meant to land, and all of a sudden he's going to be dropping behind Silo. It looks like will drop behind Silo, and so Silo looking to finish things up here in the safe spots in round 1. As Deloweed is now 7 seconds behind. Further, it continues to drop away, and Silo will make it through in the last safe spot from the danger zone. Deloweed and Aura, the 2 players to be eliminated in this round. And tough for Aura, who did have a good drive in the first round, or on the first map, I should say. Finishing up with a total of 8 points. 8th place in that map. All of a sudden, a long way further back. As we'll we'll see a few other players head to the danger zone for the next round as well. Strab, after the elimination early on the previous map, losing to the risky Finn, will be delighted at the lack of a risky Finn, I'm sure, on this map. No way to crash it on the end. But unfortunately, it looks like some very good players. Luces, Yogg, Mrotw, all up against them. Strab will have to face up against two of the podium players from the previous map. Mrotw and Luces both making an early appearance in the danger zone. Up against them, Strab and Yogg. It's going to be a tough one. There was a crash off the start line. I believe that was Sapphire just spiraling on out. Very early. Silo, unfortunately, is going to crash early on, but that's fine, because they are not in the danger zone this round. It's Yogg, Mrotw in the two safe spots at the moment. Who was that crashing out? It was Yogg, possibly. Strab has dropped a little ways back as well. As Luces and Mrotw start to pull away up the track a little bit. Both of them surviving that early jump, the backflip that can be risky. As Yogg is looking for Luces, who's in the distance, to make that mistake, give him an option, give him a chance to get back in. Jumping on board with Luces, who is still a little further away up the track. Mrotw is starting to drive off into the distance. Goliath staying to the left there. Goliath with low speed. I'm not sure we'll make that jump, but that is okay. He can survive this round even if he comes last. As Luces just continuing to gain on the players in front. A very impressive drive from Luces in the back half of the track here. As that will be Mrotw and Luces safely on through. Third and fifth place, Yogg and Strab will be eliminated, as the top time in that round was a 1 minute .595, which is pretty quick. You can see over in the local records to the right on the server, which would include when the players played this map for the first time in the actual mini RPG of the week edition. Scandir is about 7/10 clear of anyone else in live times on this map. To be expected, Scandir is very quick. As we get ready then for our next round, 4 players still in the danger zone. 3 of them from the same club. ESCA? Escape? Could be anything. There's no way of knowing. I certainly do not know, but it's going to be a bloodbath out there as teammates face off against teammates. Which one of them will survive? Will 2 of them survive? DOG also down here from Club Dog, the Canadian player. Team Escalope. As DOG is looking to take on some of the Escalope players. Unfortunately, right now, not having a great time of it. He's still ahead of Pokeu, but potentially not for much longer, as you can see Pokeu just behind there. And meanwhile, Silo and NoPix have pulled away up the track. They are about 2 seconds clear of DOG and Pokeu at the moment. As Pokeu has overtaken DOG a little bit further back, and so if Silo or NoPix does make a major mistake, it will be their teammate Pokeu to catch up with them. But NoPix off in the distance has cleared this jump. Silo clearing it as well and starting to run out of track where major mistakes can be made. From here on through, it does feel relatively safe. Was that NoPix crashing? No, NoPix still a long way up the track and should make it on through in... Oh, hang on. NoPix? Hang on. I was going to say, I think NoPix was safe. I'm not even sure how NoPix crashed at the ending there. Just on that final flat landing, NoPix with an awkward landing, I think flipped the car, had to respawn, and Pokeu ends up going on through instead. So a little bit of a tough exit for NoPix, who did so well on the first map. This time around, will be dropping out in 10th place, 11th place. Whew. That's interesting. I was not expecting to see many big crashes at the end of this track. But there one was. It's NoPix the unfortunate victim. NoPix the unfortunate victim, especially being in finalist mode, being in the danger zone in that round. And as meanwhile, the discussion in French continues. Anyone in chat want to translate for us? No? Hey, fair enough. Scandir complaining about too much speed on his car and it flipping itself or something, giggling about it. Something along those lines. I don't know. Hey, my French is rusty. As we do have 4 players in the danger zone for the last time on this map. Artiste, Luces, Habe, and Luces are the players up against each other in this round, and it's Luces and Habe who drop a little ways back, but not significantly, right up until that moment when Luces does crash. Sapphire is also in the danger zone and had early mistakes and will drop down alongside Luces and Habe, who is having a little bit of a struggle through the middle of the track, but is still in front of Luces. Not far in front. The gap about 8/10, 7/10 between them. And really neither of them can afford a mistake at this point. They are battling it out on the danger line. There's a clip from Luce's, but onto the booster, so it's not the end of the world. A little bit awkward then into that jump, but still alive, and that is the main thing. Gandir had too much speed and flew away. Yeah, that tracks. I was pretty close with my scuff translation, and you know, that's nice for me. As meanwhile, Artis is dominating the round in the danger zone, a long way out in front, sitting in second, as Habe and Luces are racing against each other, but no mistakes at the end from either player. Habe will finish in 7th place. Luces in 9th, was not far away, but just a little bit too far away. Eliminated then in 9th place, and we're into the 1v1. Silo versus Habe in the mano y mano 1v1 fight to stay alive. Sapphire saying no one makes this finish every time, I believe. Something along those lines, as players continue to try and jump on into the server, but unfortunately, you got to be here earlier. You had to play the seeding, you had to make it on in, get whitelisted in time, so I'm sorry, Yesy. Unfortunate. No one failed to finish this time. I understand. Sapphire sounding very sad about it. Yeah. Understandable, as I get it. Meanwhile, life is rough out there for Habe. Silo, well, has made a mistake, and all of a sudden, Habe is gaining. The gap was huge. It's still, I mean, 5 seconds, but it's no longer the full 7 seconds that it was, so that's something. Does Silo make another mistake? That's the question we ask at the moment, as he's playing it very safe a long way up the track. As yeah, we have confirmation. Unfortunately, the document for the viewers is dead. It's been a year since I set that up, so I can try and play around with it, but hey, probably not going to be able to fix it. The official translator for Mini RPG of the Week, Nualaic, with his dodgy French, has arrived. Habe will be eliminated in this round. Goliath will have a tough time of it towards the back half of the track, and so will be alongside Pokeu heading to the danger zone this time around, as it was Habe eliminated. A continued 1v1 as we head on through into our 7th round of 12 on the track. Laning phase by Kiraj. Anyone confirm? Is it called laning phase because Kiraj is a dirty MOBA player? Is his poison League of Legends or Dota? These are questions we got to answer. Painting our beautiful racing game with mentions of MOBAs. Ugh. Nasty. Pokeu versus Goliath, and it is a close race in the middle of the track. Both players again from Escalope, a club that has popped up in the last few months and stolen half the good French players, it seems like. As this is a very, very tight race. Goliath has been overtaken by Pokeu in the middle of the track, but they are still wheel to wheel through the middle. Pokeu is going to land on his back. You don't love to see it. That's the risk that we've been talking about all map long. Those jumps can catch you out, and it's an awkward landing even the second time around from Pokeu, even though he does survive this time. As Goliath will cruise through these last few jumps, it looks like there is still one last awkward transition to go, but no one will crash at the finish this time around. Goliath will make it through 4th place in the round, and Pokeu will be eliminated a long way down the track. Okay, Kiraj. This is a safe space. We've all played a MOBA once or twice in our lives. You can sound off in chat if you have at some point played a MOBA, and I know half of you have, so. And for most of us, it was League of Legends. What? Sorry, I'm just. My phone, the AI assistant on my phone apparently activated at some point in the middle of all that, so I just glanced down to see my phone say, "Fuck you." Apparently, that's what my phone thought I was saying to it. What the hell? I'm being attacked. The technology is becoming sentient. Hey, anyway, Mrotw and Silo are in the danger zone at the moment, and it is Mrotw is a long way down, but Silo's made mistakes as well. Only 2-3 seconds in front of Mrotw at the moment, so definitely a chance left for Mrotw in this round. Dota player? Yeah, that's fair. It's been League of Legends for me for far too... It's over a decade at this point, man. I don't want to talk about it. Will Silo make any mistakes? I mean, we're running out of track to do it unless there is a mistake at the finish line. Oh, so that's a mistake at the finish line. Just jumping too far to the right. Mrotw is through. Mrotw just needs to not crash across these last couple of jumps. It's possible, but it is unlikely. Silo had it on lock right up until they didn't, and it will be Mrotw to head on through. I actually can't believe that I just glanced down to see my phone attacking me. It's messed up. What the hell? I never used the audio on my phone, or the AI on my phone anyway. Well, yeah. Silo in chat now, for those of you who don't speak French, j'ai troll ma fin means I trolled my finish. I know there's no way that anyone could have worked that one out. And it's true. Honestly, unfortunately, Silo, it is true. You did troll your finish. But Mrotw has not escaped the danger zone fully just yet. Is still in it and is going to land on their back, unfortunately, up against Goliath. Goliath did survive that backflip, and so Goliath is a long way up track. 3 seconds now clear, at least, of Mrotw. Yeah, look at it continue to balloon. It's 5-6 seconds at this point, and Goliath survives this backflip too. So feeling pretty good about how that goes. Feeling pretty good about making it all the way to the finish line, surviving all the way into our top 4. A good second map for Goliath, who I believe, if we look at the results from the first map, did come 3rd. And so Goliath making it into the top 4 the second time around as well, will not be in the danger zone, so guaranteed a second podium on map 2 as well. Having a great time of it so far. And when we look at some of the other players who did very well on the previous map, well, Mrotw won the map, has just been eliminated by Goliath on this one. Luces came 4th on map 1, 9th on laning phase. No Picks came 2nd on map 1, 12th on map 2. So, Goliath looking for a strong finish here on map number 2. And with a strong finish on laning phase, Goliath definitely going to start to pull away at the top of the leaderboard a little bit. Of course, Scandier didn't play map 1. So that's, you know, let's just keep that in mind a little bit, right? That Scandier is almost definitely going to start climbing that leaderboard very rapidly as we see them actually manage to finish out a couple of these maps. Has not appeared in the danger zone yet. Has not actually really looked in trouble in any of these rounds, to be totally honest. At the moment, it's Sidzer versus Artiste, and well, it was Sidzer versus Artiste. Now Sidzer versus, I guess, the concept of landing on track. He seems to have beef with it anyway, as he went flying completely out to the side off that jump, and will drop a long way away from Artiste for the time being. Still not out of the question that Artiste could accidentally flip the car on this final jump, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It will be Scandier winning the round. It will be Artiste in second. It will be Sidzer eliminated. And it will be Goliath versus Artiste then, to try and see who will face off against Scandier in the final round on our second track on laning phase. Either way, going to be a tall task for one of these two players to try and beat out Scandier, but I mean, hey, this is Goliath looking for 2 really good finishes back to back on the first 2 maps. Just needs to get past Artiste. Easier said than done. All 3 players off to a pretty clean start this time around, but it is Scandier who starts to pull away from the other 2, and the battle is Artiste versus Goliath, and it's Goliath who's most definitely got an edge. Very slow by Artiste through that early section. I think may have dropped a gear at some point and just not quite able to get the speed back up through those awkward tight sections. Scandier full crashes. I mean, look, doesn't make a huge difference. He's booked his spot in the top 2 already with good driving in previous rounds. Does mean that whoever wins this round will be the player going through, and they'll have momentum heading into the final round against Scandier. A little bit of a touch there from Artiste, not the end of the world. Still has speed through this section thanks to the booster that's coming through. Landing a little bit further along the track than Goliath did Artiste. Carrying a little bit more speed towards this final section, and maybe could try and risk it towards the end here. Air brake, trying to carry the speed, not enough to catch. There just wasn't enough room left on the track. Did close the gap by 1/10.5, but Goliath unfortunately was 5/10 ahead. So Goliath into the top 2 after coming 3rd on the previous map, facing off against Scandier, who enters this final round having crashed out fully on the previous round. So there definitely is a chance here for Goliath to take down our GOAT, the best mini RPG player that we all know. Scandier versus Goliath for glory on laning phase. And early on in the round. As well, I was going to say maybe expected, Scandir pulls out a little lead, and it's a much bigger lead now thanks to that bonk by Goliath. Still will survive. Goliath managing to at least not let that one mistake snowball into more, but the gap has expanded out to 8 seconds now, and Scandir starting to pull further and further ahead. He is a little bit slower out of that landing, but sets himself up well for this turn, getting onto the booster quickly. Scandir, that looked awkward, but it does survive. And he is just driving so well up the track at the moment. Managing to do everything he needs to do to keep Goliath behind. Really not over-risking it at the moment, it feels like, for Scandir, but he doesn't need to. He's gotten through most of the treacherous sections of the track. He did crash. Now, I will note he did crash horrifically. And so Goliath wins the round. I didn't think there was going to be much more that could happen there, but right on that section where too much speed has cost Scandir in previous rounds, a section that he's complained about in previous rounds on the track, it'll happen again. He's not happy about it in chat, and it's fair enough. It's definitely cost him a couple of times on this map, but it's Goliath who wins. Goliath, who closes out with a first place, the 1 point that goes along with it, and Scandir takes second on the first map that he actually manages to play today. As we get ready for our third track, almost halfway through the day already. As a reminder, we will not be eliminating players today. All 16 players will move through to Sunday. Today is all about seeding. It's about, seeing what the players are doing on these tracks. How have they been feeling on these tracks as we go? So far, the answer is generally pretty good. The quality is high. These players are quick for sure. If you ever look to the top right, the live records held by these players, Scandir, sure he's going to be near the top of that an awful lot. As we get ready for Maxed Delve by Mitriani. Which is a name, I have to admit, I don't recognize, but it is a very heavily upvoted map, so the players enjoyed it. I'll be honest, I can see why. It's definitely a little bit unique, this very mixed block style. Kind of scattershot, things thrown everywhere. A little bit of ice in some mini RPG. Don't get to see that very often. Not a huge amount, obviously, just a landing wall, but still interesting to see that thrown in there. Definitely a mixed map, as advertised. I'm going to be an awful lot of those transitional jumps to go through as well, and then a risky fin that requires carrying speed through an engine off and yeeting yourself the side ramp jump into that finish. This is going to be exciting. Looking forward to seeing how this one plays out. I can see why this map has the 22 upvotes to the 22 plus pluses to the 3 minus minuses that it does in fact have. A lot of dirt too. I mean, definitely a surface we see more than ice in mini RPG, but often, not like as kind of a very drift heavy surface. Not dirt that really forces you, more just dirt as like, hey, you're on an exit here. It's going to be a little bit hard to get your grip back. So seeing kind of early dirt there that really is almost more of a drift, definitely interesting. As we're on board with Goliath, who's having a little bit of a rough time of it, but is currently looking good enough to stay out of the danger zone in the first round. Into that ice landing, very smooth, and you definitely can land that very smooth and carry a lot of speed on out into this next section. Judicious use of the engine off block throughout this one as well, making sure that the players are not cheating their speed, that they're not landing in places the author did not want them to land, and that they are forced to kind of take some of these lines and smoothly carry the speed on through as well. As the danger zone for the first round starts to take shape, it looks like Sapphire will be in there once again. Yogg, Pokeu, Diogi, and Aura, who DNF'd early in the round, loses, dropping to an early danger zone as well. And some names who we've seen enter early danger zone several times already this evening, but some players we've seen do very well across rounds as well, do very well across maps. I mean, Pokeu and Lucis have both had good maps at this point, have both had very good rounds as well. They're having a little bit rough time of it to start things off on Maxed Delve. As Diogi and Sapphire will start things out as the players on the hot seat But Yogg is also in this danger zone, and Sapphire has just overtaken Yogg. Will be ahead going to next checkpoint. And Aura, who DNF'd the first round, is having a rough time of it on round 2 as well. We jumped on board just in time to see a couple of crashes into opposite walls, pinballing across the track. Has, I think, overtaken DOG, who we just saw respawn further down, but still needs to catch up to Yogg or to Sapphire, to Pokeu, any of the players that are a little bit back. It was not DOG who respawned. Lucis, though, has respawned and is now behind Aura. As DOG is falling a little way down this time around. No, DOG has still survived. DOG, Yogg, Sapphire, all in the danger zone, all neck and neck, all three jumping towards the risky fin, and all three managing to make it on through. Aura eliminated round 1. Lucis eliminated round 1. That is, I'm not going to say surprising. All of these players are very good. All of these players do manage to pull things off in their round. All of them can drive quickly. But still, see, Lucis and Aura eliminated in round 1. A little bit of still a surprise. And I'm KO'd in rank 17. RIP to me. Stack danger zone for our second round then. Silo, Sidzer, Artis, and Habe. Which, that seems to be the pronunciation of the name that I've settled on. Interestingly, different lines taken on that dirt at the start as well. Some players are going for that kind of wall bounce on the plastic on the outside. Some players just choosing to take it tight, to trust to the drift, maybe even no grip a little bit, no drift at the end a little bit, and exit with speed there as well. We'll keep an eye on that. Didn't seem to be huge differences between the speed exit on that one, but possibly with execution one way is a clear favourite. Habe is DNF'd, and so unfortunately will be eliminated in this round, guaranteed, no matter what happens. And that means Artis and Silo, the two players currently on the edge of danger, as they are not too far away from each other out on track. Sidzer has pulled a little bit away from the two of them, but Silo and Artis are in the running, both of them, for elimination. Silo crashed the end, eliminated by the risky fin, just crashing into the bottom of it, and that is tough. Had the advantage, had the edge, was in front, but could not quite make the risky fin. So Artis stays alive on map 3. Silo crashes out. As we'll start to see the shape of then our danger zone for the next round as well. Looks like it will be no picks. Yogg, Deloid, and Strab, who's having a better round this time around, having a better map this time around. Starting off a little bit stronger. Made early danger zone appearances on our previous two maps. But this time around, Strab has made it as far as round 4 without making a danger zone appearance, and hasn't really looked in a huge amount of danger of appearing in that danger zone. Although that's not gone great. I apologize for the caster curse. I understand that was almost definitely at least a little bit my fault. Strab is now suddenly a long way back, but not out of it just yet, as Yogg and Deloid are not massively quick through that middle section of track. And Yogg, in fact, is behind Deloid at the moment. And Deloid, you could see very close to the wall on the outside there, but did keep the car out of the wall. Maintained speed all the way up to this engine off. And jumping very high, Deloid manages to continue to stay a couple of places ahead of Yogg out on track. And they are extending the gap, both of them back to Strab. But Yogg still needs a mistake from someone up front. Needs Deloid to make the mistake. Needs Nopix to make the mistake. And would need that mistake to have happened at the finish line. And for neither of them, that was the case, and so Yogg eliminated on this round. Deloid knocking his teammate out, and Strab, unfortunately after that early mistake, not able to recover, is still out on track, will still make it to the finish line, but will be eliminated. Higher up in this round than previously, though. The Unity match of the year as Deloid knocked out Yogg in the previous round, now up against another teammate in Sapphire. And looking to continue on his rampage, the team-killing murder of all of his teammates. And actually, we also have MW, Mrotw versus Sidzer in this round too. A team name that I've never worked out what Team MW actually stands for, I think. Was it Milky Way? Was Team MW Milky Way? Possibly. That sounds right to me. I know Raistlin also a player on the team, and at the moment, I mean, this is the... Oh, I was going to say the drama of the whole. Is a Team Milky Way knocking out both players of Unity, or does Unity manage to get one of their players back in there? At the moment, Sapphire is the player on the edge of it, and Sapphire engine is off, is going to have to respawn there. As Mrotw and Sids are looking to establish dominance over Team Unity here. They are a long way up track, and with only the finish line left to go, both of them will look to make it through cleanly. Mrotw and Sids are really putting their stamp on that round, letting Team Unity know who's on top, and it will be both Deloitte and Sapphire going on out, although Deloitte does still beat Sapphire, and so in the team battles, Deloitte beat Yogg and beat Sapphire as well. They're on, as the admin, I don't know if you can be in chat talking smack, bullying one of the teams like that, telling Team Unity that it was expected a little bit that they get destroyed by Team Milky Way. Hurtful, rude. Admins are taking sides. As we are into our 1v1 battles, and it is Goliath to kick things off against DOG, who's having a very good map this time around, it has to be said. We've seen some early exits from DOG on the previous two maps, but on Maxed Delve, excuse me, DOG has broken all the way through into the top 8. And is starting the round off well as well, ahead of Goliath to kick things off, who's, as we've seen, has been driving well across these tracks so far, has made it into the top 3 on both of the previous two tracks, but does sit behind DOG for the moment, not for much longer. Much better turn from Goliath, just carrying speed down the inside there, has now overtaken DOG, but Goliath's going to hit. He lands on his wheels, is still going to make it to that checkpoint, make it back, turn the engine back on, but now DOG with speed is carrying on through. That was such a rough landing for Goliath, and that landing on the ice might be enough to send Goliath out, is hoping, as there's the mod loading, just in time for us to see DOG get across a much more handsome finish line. The drama. Honestly, I have to respect the ability of Trackmania, because every time the mod has loaded on one of these tracks so far tonight, it has been at a dramatic moment and the entire screen has frozen at truly the worst possible time, which is frankly just very funny. Frankly, as just entertaining. But hey, the drama. Goliath eliminated in 8th place by DOG, who continues on and is in the danger zone again, this time up against Sidzer. And there is that inside line I was talking about. DOG, one of the players to go for it rather than going for the bounce. And staying a little bit higher does seem to give him a chance to kind of take the next turn a little bit wider and keep speed up. But I don't know how good it is compared to the wall bounce line early on, given that we do see DOG has dropped back from everyone else. Luckily for DOG, the one player he's currently in front of on this track is Sidzer, and that's the one player that he needs to be in front of. But Sidzer is so quick, carrying so much speed through that middle section, will land at a better angle than DOG, it looks like, as well, as they are very close to each other. And this is a very, very good round so far. Both of them racing each other so well out on track. The rest of the field falls away around them, but these two will not give an inch. Sidzer just needs to make it to the line, will do so with a very clean, low finish. And that is tough for DOG, who had a great round, honestly. Like, very well driven and came 3rd. Unfortunately, the player he was racing in the danger zone, Sidzer, comes 2nd, and that does mean DOG will have to settle for a 7th place overall on that map. Looking forward to see what DOG manages to do across the remaining 2 maps, though, as well, as that was a bit of a breakout moment for me. Looking very, very clean. And interestingly, Scandir taking the line that DOG took as well. Everyone else going for that wall bounce. Scandir and DOG, the two players kind of staying higher and going for a no slide on that dirt. And obviously, it's worked out for Scandir, who leads the round this time around. And good thing he does. He is in the danger zone up against Pokeu at the moment. It's never a comfortable place to be against Scandir in any danger zone. The Poke will be glad that, you know, having made it to the top 6 before this happened, as Scandir just continues to vanish off into the distance. 1st place still, and not looking to give it up anytime soon. Only a couple of corners left to go, as Scandir has pulled away from the field. Pokeu will look to get a clean finish here, as unfortunately Scandir has already crossed the line in 1st place 3 seconds earlier, and that is just how clean Scandir can be when he drives, with a very good time of 50.0, 7 tenths ahead of anyone else. This time around, Scandir will not be in the danger zone. Being 7 tenths clear of anyone else on the field does mean that you don't gotta do that no more. It'll be Nopix versus Mrotw in this round, as Nopix with a better start. It does get a little bit clear of Mrotw, but it is a 1st and 2nd place for the 2 danger zone participants this time around. Nopix still driving cleanly, landing a little bit lower on the inside of that turn, setting himself up nicely to carry through here. looked to have maybe lost a little bit of speed there. Mrotw staying wider, has carried more speed through that middle section of track. With the engine off here, landing earlier, not a big advantage for No Picks, as Mrotw keeps that speed advantage through the entire middle sector, and he's now a long way in front of No Picks, a couple of tenths, a few car lengths, and continuing to snowball that speed advantage all the way to the finish line, where Mrotw will take second. The Scandier really did come out of nowhere to manage to take it, as Mrotw drove a great... That's insane. Hang on, we just need to take a second to appreciate Scandier in that round. Mrotw improved the number 2 local record. A 49.7 was incredibly quick. We saw Mrotw carrying great speed and continuing to pull away from his opponent in that round over and over again. A great, well-driven round by Mrotw to carry as much speed as he did. And Scandier still just carried so much more that he came back from a few tenths behind and overtook him at the finish line to beat what is the second best time on the server. That's unhinged. That doesn't seem correct. How does Scandier do it? Wild stuff. I mean, it is a very Scandier feeling track. These awful transitions throughout the track, just the ability to maintain speed and carry as much of it as possible, something that Scandier is very, very good at. Meanwhile, with Mrotw and Scandier safe after that last round, this danger zone is Sidzer versus Artis. And Artis is a little ways behind Sidzer at the moment, trying to stay wide on that turn and landing cleanly, just trying to get enough speed to maybe challenge Sidzer at the line, but Sidzer is so far in front that there is nothing to beat on. Artis eliminated in 4th place, Sidzer in 3rd, and it'll be Mrotw and Sidzer for the chance to battle Scandier in the final round again, as Scandier turns it on when he needs to. One of them will move forward in order to, well, get their chance to represent their team against Scandier. This is, of course, you know, an individual event, but it's still pretty nice. Oh, I didn't... the drama. Wait, no. Oh, never mind. Look, ignore what I'm saying right now. It doesn't matter, but there is still a little bit of drama, as Mrotw is behind Sidzer at the moment. Sidzer has given Scandier a great race, as Mrotw survives that section. This is not optimal lines. Do not try this at home. But he has survived, and Sidzer's a little bit awkward heading into this ice jump. That's a great jump from Mrotw, who's a lot quicker than Sidzer heading on through. And that is a fantastic middle section from Mrotw after managing to survive a very awkward landing onto some dirt. He has now overtaken Sidzer and just needs to get through the finish. He's a little bit slower than Sidzer. This is going to be an awkward final jump for Mrotw, but he does enough. And Sidzer crashes the finish as well. Tried to risk it all on the off chance that he could catch Mrotw. Did not quite manage to. And then respawning gives a little bit of breathing room. One chance to wipe the sweat off the hands, put down the controller, lift your hands away from the keyboard for a second for Scandier and Mrotw. Your top 2 on maxed delve. Heartless Shadow is unfortunately not whitelisted, and so will not be making it into the server for the time being. I apologize for that, Heartless Shadow. Again, you gotta be there in seeding. This is seeding for tomorrow's Scandier's line versus Mrotw's line. Here is our clearest example of the differences between it. You could see Scandier a little bit maybe less speed coming out of that section, but was able to set up a little bit wider for the following turn. Very even between those two, and I do love to see different lines, different options for the players to go to. And right now it does feel like execution has favored Mrotw through the first section of the track. But when you're up against Scandier on a track like this, I mean, just look at it. As low as possible on every single one of those transitions. Maybe a little bit too low on the ice. So Scandier bounced a little bit. Speed favors Mrotw then as the engines turn back on, but it's not by much. By 1, maybe 2 whole units of speed. And that's nothing as Scandier gets the opportunity to nail a couple more transitions to head towards the finish and to set a time of a 49.2. That is brutally quick by Scandier, and he did it all through about the last 3 jumps. Incredibly impressive stuff from the king of mini RPG himself. Scandier wins another map. As we get ready to, well, I hope everyone's got their VPNs turned on. I hope you're not letting your internet provider know what's going on and, you know, what media you are looking for, because we're heading to the Pirate Bay. Today's stream is sponsored by I wish. No. ExpressVPN, NordVPN, whatever. There's a lot of them out there. Pirate Bay. Oh, is there a mod on this one? There probably is. There's probably a mod that's not loaded. It'll probably load about halfway through the track once again. We'll see when we get there. This map built by Hero Tax. Always fun to see a hero attacks map as well. Just a brief warm-up at the moment. As things stand, unfortunately, yes, the bracket is still broken. A little bit. Hang on, can I fix this? Wait. Everyone ignore that I'm not talking for the moment. Some of the numbers are coming through. For sure. For sure. A lot of them aren't, though. Hey, I'll try and fix the bracket after we're done here in time for tomorrow so that people can see it. But for now, let's focus on this. We are restarting the map for the mod. Hopefully, we can get it on through. Definitely not going through for me, but we've seen it load halfway through the track each time that we've needed a mod to load. And it is always an exciting moment when it does. Interesting to see a map where Scandir does not have the local record. Usually just means that, you know, he didn't play the week of this map. Sometimes does mean he's not a huge fan of the map. Does mean that he thinks it's a little bit rough and chose to be eliminated early on. We'll wait and see how things go as we get on into this one. But possibly a map where someone could take it to Scandir. Possibly a map where Scandir could try and actually win. Someone could try and actually beat Scandir on the map. It would always be exciting. Look, it's not that I hate Scandir. It's just always exciting to see someone else win a mini RPG the week round. It's rare, okay? It's rare. One more warm-up, as we are just desperately trying to get the mod to load for players. And it has unfortunately not worked just yet. We should be live sooner rather than later. This is our second last map of seeding, as things have flown on by. Hey, while everyone's here, you know, we've got a few of you. Does anyone remember any exciting moments from Beacon last season? It's very hard to dig out clips of them. I'm sure all of you religiously watched Beacon, right? Send me clips, if you got any. Nightbot will ban you if you try to send them in Twitch chat, but apart from that, you'll be fine. Or a no mod enjoyer, I believe, during the actual mini RPG of the week, the round after the mod loaded for him, he did in fact lose immediately. Is my understanding what's been typed there. Whatever, doesn't matter. Good luck to all of the players as we get ready. The bottom 8 players will drop into the danger zone. 2 of those will be eliminated because 2 of the players in the danger zone will be myself and Admin Bayron. But don't worry about it. Second to last map of the evening, Pirate Bay by Hero Attacks. And at the moment, well, Scandir has dominated in the last couple of maps. Goliath looking like a strong second place at the moment. But... we'll wait and see. We will wait and see. I'm sorry, I keep getting distracted by the bracket. Trying to work out what I did a year ago to make it work in the first place. Why it's not working now, and the answer is I simply don't remember, I'm afraid. But we'll see. Who does drop into this danger zone early on? Silo looking in danger at the moment. Sapphire, Strab looking danger as well. And we were saying after the last map, I was excited to see how Strab could do on the next map. And the answer is, unfortunately, this is not looking like a Strab map in the same way that the last one was. I'm sure some of these players are getting flashbacks to the World Cup and the Grand League and the Challenger League. The Trackmania World Tour last year and some of the tracks that were there. Scandir, I believe, definitely played those tracks along the way. But I'm thinking of this reactor boost, the on the water, having to kind of hoverboard your way across the awful grip and the truly terrifying physics that occur as you try to drive on that surface. As there we go, Goliath will drive across the finish line towards the back half of the field as well. Will be one of the players in the danger zone alongside Habe, Strab, Diogi, Silo, Luces. Pretty stacked danger zone. Once again, to start things off, a couple of players like Luces, like Goliath, who have definitely performed very well on previous tracks. Goliath in particular, I think, you know, could maybe have been looking to be even higher up the leaderboard, but in 8th place on the previous track, looking for redemption after that. And that would start with not being eliminated very early on this track. Dog, who did have a very strong finish last time around, managing to finish in 7th place on Maxed Delve, is now in trouble here at the start of Pirate Bay. Strab has managed to stay in touch with the back of this further pack. He's right behind Habe, who is one of our Danger Zone players as well. And Strab is just crawling along. The engine is off and he is moving slow, managing to gain a little bit of speed back before you head into cruise control. These wet wheels, awkward reactor, the whole lot of it. A little bit of almost a bug slide there to come out of it, but it's on the platform. And Strab has managed to climb up. Goliath crashed on out somewhere. And so Goliath now at risk of being eliminated very, very early here in the first round of this track. I don't think there's enough track left. I don't think anyone crashed. Someone did! Habe crashed. Silo crashed as well, but Silo makes it across. Goliath lives to fight another day, and unfortunately Habe will be eliminated early on alongside Dog. Both of them sent on out early in this track. That's tough. That is, well, Goliath happy. I mean, staying alive to continue to fight for the top seeds as well. And, well, Aura and Silo, Goliath, I think, will be sent straight back into Danger Zone. No, excuse me, because it is, of course, a 4-person Danger Zone this time around. Mrotw in the Danger Zone very early on this track, with a 1st place on map 1, a 5th place on map 2, a 2nd place on map 3. Potentially at risk of being eliminated very early on map 4. And it is a stacked Danger Zone. We've seen all of these players have good rounds, have good days. It's a good map so far today, excuse me. And Sapphire is, well, currently sitting in 4th place in the Danger Zone, but is not too far away from anyone else. You can definitely see early on this track, the gap spreads very quickly, and that is no crashes, no mistakes, just better transitions, better driving from some of the players who are starting to pull away. Aura has crashed and will crash again. Aura really struggling right now. So Sapphire will be 3rd on the Danger Zone through that checkpoint. PokeU will be just in front of Sapphire going through this section. We'll wait and see. Does PokeU survive? Yes, they do, but a little bit tough, and you can see Sapphire is creeping closer. PokeU just a few car lengths up the track at the moment. Couple of jumps left to go. Does PokeU survive? Yes, they do. Sapphire does as well, but not quickly enough to manage to take away that last safe spot in the Danger Zone. Mrotw survives. PokeU survives. Sapphire and Aura will be eliminated on this round. As Habe is whitelisted, they will be allowed into the server. We'll let them stick. Grab on the struggle bus a little bit right now, but not in the Danger Zone this round, and so all they gotta do is, well, exist, and they will be safe until the next round. At least at this point. They will definitely be in the Danger Zone in the next round. As, getting a little bit of practice in on the end there. What's Strab? As, Strab will be... Oh, hang on! Nope. If we take a quick look at the scoreboard, yeah, that is one of those cases. You DNF. Unfortunately, it's a straight elimination, so as Strab has just found out to their cost. If you do not finish the round at all. So, Strab, not in the Danger Zone this time around. A little bit unfortunate. But PokeU and Silo, this time around it's Team Escalope versus Team Unity. As Silo and PokeU, Team Escalope coming out on top at the moment. Delowy trying to catch up to them, and there are a few Escalope tags in sight, but neither of them are the players that he is currently trying to chase down. Although PokeU has crashed, in fact will be right behind Deloweed. Tight race between the two of them as they head on through the middle of the track. PokeU with better landing, overtaking Deloweed for the time being, instantly pulling a gap of nearly a second out just with a better landing on through that exit from the reactor water section. Deloweed does not have enough speed to make it over the end. Silo and PokeU both making it through the finish. And Deloweed and Yogg, Team Unity, once again hand in hand into the abyss as both of them eliminated in the same round. As Deloweed, once again, winning the moral victories over his team. Sure, both of the last two maps, Deloweed has been eliminated alongside a teammate, but in both rounds, Deloweed has managed to beat the other player from Unity in the elimination round. So, you know, that feels nice. And it does count for positioning at the end there as well. Deloweed finishing higher up the leaderboard than Yogg on this one. The Escalope Ace. It's true. Escalope. How French do I need to be with my pronunciation? Say, Team Escalope. Escalope. Maybe I just dropped the P sound altogether. Just truly get into the weeds of it. That doesn't feel correct. This time around, the Danger Zone, still featuring 4 players, is... Well, it was a relevant question, because it's an all-Escalope affair. Goliath and Silo, the 2 players in the hot seats at the moment. Pokeyu, though, is actually just behind Goliath as we head through this, but more speed on the uphill. Goliath barely makes it onto that booster to keep his run alive. And Scandia respawning towards the back there, but you can see the lack of speed from Goliath through the middle of the track there has really cost him. Pokeyu has built that gap massively just through that one section of track. And Goliath is now hoping for a mistake from Nopix, but I don't think he'll get one. Nopix has already finished, and Goliath, I don't think, is even going to have the speed to make it over this jump. Will do so, but unfortunately, Nopix and Pokeo already finishing further up the track means Goliath and Silo eliminated in the all-Escalope battle. Scandir, I think, maybe being a little bit sarcastic with the I love reactors in chat there. Hard to tell. There's simply no way of knowing in the round where we saw him respawn on the reactor section. Let's see, we're running out of time for the mod to successfully load on this track for me. I want to see it. I want to know what it looks like. But I don't think we're going to get it. But maybe we will. Hey, we still got time. We're into the 1v1s. Artis and Sidzer this time around, and Artis has dropped behind early on. Sidzer in a fierce battle further up the track alongside Morbio and Luces at the moment. As Artis does have good speed through that section. I think Sidzer may have respawned, in fact. Yeah, Sidzer forced to respawn now. Looking for Artis to be the player to make a mistake further up track. As Artis is a little bit slow, and Artis is going to flip the car, lands back on his wheels, but watch for Sidzer, who's still all the way back here. Artis has made it a little bit further, but Sidzer had a chance. He's now made it through the reactor section. He's hoping for Artis to crash at the end. Artis, oh my god, this is scary. This is scary. Artis has absolutely no speed. Artis is still alive. Where's Sidzer? He's gaining. There's Artis finally finishing. And he crawled to the finish line. A real hair in the tortoise situation right at the end there. As, that was, well, entertaining at the very least. But Artis is the player to come out on top. Not a great round from either of them, it has to be said. And that will mean that Artis finds himself landed straight back into the danger zone again. As Goliath from the stands hits them with the great race MW. Yep. Are you able to say things like that after already being eliminated in an all-team battle? I don't know. But he's done it anyway. Pokeyu this time around for Team Escalope is trying to defend Goliath's honor for Team Escalope, but not doing a great job of it right now. As Artis is way out in front, right behind Scandir at the moment, but a huge gap back to Pokeyu, who we saw respawning and is going to continue to drop further away from Artis, who this time around has no struggles on the exit from the reactor water section, and is sitting in 3rd place. Yeah, you recover from the close calls, you drive faster. It's true. I mean, hey, it's clearly what's happened to Artis, who has a great round right after a fairly terrible round, managing to stay alive and managing to keep himself out of the danger zone for sure in the next round. Pokeyu has DNF'd further down, and we do see our danger zone set then for the next round as well, as Pokeyu eliminated in 6th, Luces and Nopix into the danger zone in 4th and 5th place in that last round. Goliath is so French that even when he's trying to type roof it, he loses the H. The roof it. Yep. I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of the French accent. It's just, sometimes you lose those H's. You're not used to having to actually aspirate the letter H. I understand, it happens to the best of us. Luces and Nopix in this round is, well, looking pretty close at the moment, as Luce is a little bit slow through there. Both of them do survive the abominable roof it. And it will be Luces with a little bit more speed exiting, but we've seen players fail on this reactor water section before. Luces with a good landing. He got a lot of speed. Nopix, it's very awkward, but he has survived it. And he is still right behind Luces. It was better exit speed for Luces, though, towards these final few jumps on the track. And Nopix will need to hope for something. Has carried a little bit more speed, lands a little bit further left, dodges the crates, but still finishes half a second behind Luces at the end. Very, very close. Very, very close between the two of them. One of the better Danger Zone 1v1s that we have seen today. Unfortunately, for no picks was the player to be eliminated off the back of it. And this time around it is Lucis and Mrotw. Scandir once again locks himself into a podium. Lucis and Mrotw both looking to get themselves onto that podium in Pirate Bay as well. It's an awkward start from Mrotw. It was a worse start from Lucis, who full respawned off the start line and is already 5 seconds behind. This is looking like around where Mrotw can, maybe should, safe a little bit, but this is not a map that feels particularly conducive to safing it. You do just need to get things right anyway. It's not like you can really try and line things up too much more than you do just to survive them in the first place. Mrotw has lost a lot of speed to the front two drivers in this round, as Scandir fully slides out on the exit from the water there, so we may be seeing Scandir actually have to fight for his place in the top two in a danger zone. Looking like it'll be Scandir and Mrotw looking to take on Artis in that final round. It will be Mrotw through. Lucis, meanwhile, will be eliminated. Did overtake Scandir. Unfortunately, could not catch back up to Mrotw, and that it will mean elimination and a 4th place on map 4. Scandir will still get to the line, 30 seconds to do so. Plenty of time. And it will be Scandir versus Mrotw for a spot in the final round against Artis. And then we'll be in to our final map of the day. 80% done. Time flies when you're having fun. As it will be Mrotw versus Scandir. And both of them looking for a clean start. Mrotw going a lot further left there. Definitely looking to maybe take it a little bit safer, giving himself as much platform as possible to land on that one. And it has worked on out in terms of staying alive. It has not worked out in terms of, you know, racing against Scandir, who is very quick and does take those risks and usually makes them work out purely due to, well, skill, good driving. Mrotw and Scandir, a little bit more speed from Scandir through that section, and that just means this gap is going to balloon. So let's jump on board with Scandir as you see the gap expand to 1.8 seconds. Scandir had trouble on that exit last round. This time around stays completely safe. And with just a few jumps left to go with awkward transitions, this again feels like a very Scandir section of the track, and he does somehow, some way keep the car alive and on track in a position where I know most of us would have absolutely managed to lose control of the car, where we would have slid on out. Scandir keeps it safe. Scandir keeps it on track. Scandir keeps it in the top two, up against Artis in the 1v1 for first place on Pirate Bay. Place your bets now. I'm afraid smart money, as always, is on Scandir, and you can see why. Off of the start line already, just so quick. That quick landing, the transition's absolutely flawless, and the gap out of nothing, out of really nothing. You can't say that Artis had a mistake, that even really had an error and drove poorly on those first few turns. The gap is 6/10. Scandir is just that quick when it comes down to it a lot of the time. He's quick through this roof hit as well, although I think Artis might have about the same speed, maybe even a little bit more. No, Scandir definitely had more speed through there, and he pulls a long way away from Artis. Those transitions continuing to look flawless for Scandir, and he's made it through that tough section once again, and with, again, really not much track left, Scandir has just pulled the gap out to 2.5, 3 seconds. God, what a round from Scandir. I really don't feel like Artis made big mistakes there. I really don't know that Artis made any mistakes there, and he still lost by 3 seconds. Scandir is terrifying. A 49.1 on that round, as quick as we've seen in any live round on that track. Scandir wins on Pirate Bay, and that means that his streak of winning on maps has extended to the last two. He did come second on laning phase, but he has won Maxed Delve and Pirate Bay now. As we get ready for our final map, a to music map, Sanshiu. I'm sorry, I feel that's not the pronunciation. Sanshui? Sanshui. Sanshui? That IH is really throwing me at the end there. That's a very awkward IH, it feels like, to pronounce. And I feel like if the H wasn't there, I'd feel comfortable saying Sanshui. But the H, that makes me feel like it'd be Sanshui. And I don't know. Babs hitting me with the clueless, uncalled for. Hurtful, frankly. It's not my fault. As people are, there's a lot of emojis going on down in the chat. Who knows what's going down? I guess everyone's just feeling very cute now that we've got to our final map. Well, we'll wait and see what things look like when we get on into this one. As unfortunately our mod never loaded on Pirate Bay, but I'm telling you, don't think there's a mod for this one. It's a very clean map. I do like this pink style that we've gone for, the pink temples of the evening. It's pretty clean. I like it. 10 out of 10. Well done, Tim. Music. Alright. Very nice transitions. Yeah, as we've seen through a few of our maps today, as Babs has pointed out there, you know, we've seen some diabolical transition maps. Maps where the transition is designed to be as tough as possible, absolutely horrible to drive, and it's all about managing to still drive as quickly as possible. Pirate Bay, our last map, a very good example of that, and, well, definitely a Scandier style of map. He is very, very good at nailing those transitions in a way that nobody else ever really seems quite able to map. The transitions here on Sanshua, definitely a lot cleaner in general. Definitely designed to keep the track flowing, designed to keep you moving quickly the entire way around. And then just mixed in with a couple of bounces, a couple of interesting hits to mix things up on the way through. I like it, honestly. It seems like a super fun track. I can see why it was voted by the community as one of the top 5 tracks of the last 25. And I'm looking forward to seeing more of this in competitive rounds tomorrow as well when we get to our knockout stage. As here in the first round, well, Scandier's out in front, I suppose no surprise there. Further down the track, Deloweed is at risk of heading into the danger zone, and the gap from the players not in the danger zone, DOG in 9th, down to the players who are about to drop into the danger zone, Deloweed in 10th, is about 7 seconds. The players have done a great job of really sorting themselves out on this one. Just really making sure the gap is as big as possible. And then this risky fin, where the camera is going to do some interesting things, almost definitely, as Deloweed will make it on through into the finish line at the end there. And, Oh, there's a slow-mo under the water there. Oh, there's double chances to dodge the risky fin? Am I seeing this right? Because you can land here if you get the reactor down. Ah, you can jump over that with the ramp. Interesting. It does seem some of the players were managing to land forward and get the reactor, which takes you over the water and carries you clear of the slow-mo. Anyway, I'm going to have to figure out this ending. There's some interesting things going on with this ending, for sure. But we'll wait and see how it does work out for these players as we move on through Strab, Aura, Silo, Yogg, Pokyu, and DOG. The players to kick things off in the danger zone this time around. And Deloweed, not with a great start, but that's okay because they're not in the danger zone. Strab, with a clean start, will move a little ways up the field. It'll be Yogg and Silo who are at risk. Yogg with a very slow start. Silo, though, still moving fast, still carrying speed through the middle section of the track. Very clean transition on that hit. Looking then to land on this wall, and that is interesting in terms of how that flows and how well these players are managing to drive it as well. Oh, I don't like that from Silo, and I was right not to like it. Full crashing on through, just in front of Pokyu now, who is also respawning at the back there. Pokyu not going to carry the speed for that one to manage to stay alive. Yogg is further up the track and currently safe, still in front of Silos. Hard to keep track of where everyone is. This track is definitely providing an awful lot of separation as different people struggle in different places. The crashes occur everywhere and anywhere. And that means it's kind of just worth keeping an eye on the scoreboard more than anything else. Let's stay on board with Yogg and see how they go at the finish line. See how things work for them as they head through this. You have to imagine everyone should be going for the risky fin. Yogg may not be going for the risky fin, not carrying a lot of speed through the finish here. Will still choose to try and go for the risky fin. Right, we're upside down. Going for the roof hit, landing backwards and will end up in the slow-mo. Could not quite snipe that jump for the risky fin. So the intended way, for sure, is to try and be backwards, snipe it. Although this is what I was seeing. Some players are just going for the turnaround once you land backwards on the reactor. That means you get the reactor up, you go over the water, you skip those slow-mos anyway, and you just drive straight through. Definitely a little bit easier, probably not quite as quick as, almost definitely not quite as quick as doing the risky fin the intended way, just driving backwards over that ramp and into the finish line. Very interesting. Excuse me, I ended up not paying attention to who was eliminated in that round. It was Pokyu and Silo, both players who've had good days. I think overall, both of them will be eliminated very early though on map 5, and their day comes to an end in ignominious fashion. Big word for you. Deloid and Strab are both back in the danger zone. Yogg and Diogi, or Deloid in the danger zone for the first time on this map, but Yogg and Diogi joining them back in the danger zone as well. Strab a little ways back, but with a lot of speed, looking good, managing to get a little bit of a bug slide into the grass there. Haven't seen many players do that in particular, but it gave him the speed to get up and over the hill, overtaking Deloid in the process, but Yogg is just in front, and this is awkward from Strab. Will stay alive, but will lose a huge amount of speed, and Yogg is continuing to race away up the track. The OG player, I think, who looked best on maxed, excuse me, what was our track name? It was maxed Delve, and I think that was definitely closer maybe to this track in terms of smooth transitions on the way through, so maybe looking at a good track for DOG on this one too. As Yogg just needs to nail this finish now. Is backwards. We'll just go through the oh, that's brutal. Oh no, he's got so much slow-mo. He's so slow. DOG finishes. Where is Strab? Oh, they're so far back. Yogg crawls and crawls and is overtaken by Deloid. Oh. Well, unlucky Yogg. You got the most brutal slowdown I think I've ever seen. The slow-mo is punishing sometimes. And I'll be honest, I think maybe you would have been better off just respawning. Just respawning and going for it again. Would have been quicker. Oh, that's tough. Oh, that is tough. And unfortunately, Strab is eliminated as well. Although, again, I do like... I mean, look, Strab's strategy, if you're not 100% confident in going for that backwards jump on the risky fin, just turning around, getting the reactor up and going for it that way, would have really benefited Yogg in that last round. As well, hey, no picks is full crashed out, but that's fine, they're not in the danger zone. Would have prevented Yogg from being eliminated. That is tough, as we definitely do see some players going for that bug slide into the plastic bounce, and you can see maybe the risks of it there as Zora is sent to space on that jump. And will actually be overtaken by Sapphire then on this one as well. But both of them are a long way down from Deloid at the moment. Gap is 3 seconds between Deloid and the other players in the danger zone. So looking for a clean finish here from Deloid. Scandir has made an appearance, has deigned to grace us mortals with an appearance in the danger zone early on map 5. But as expected, he's doing Scandir things and just absolutely dominating anyway. And so sits in first place nonetheless. Despite being in the danger zone, Deloid will crash. And that means Sapphire is through. Sapphire is currently ahead of Deloid. Deloid is crashing again. Sapphire is backwards, has gotten the reactor up and then reversed into the finish line. Sure. Didn't see how that happened, but I guess it works. And so Sapphire will finish in 6th place, overtaking Deloid, who had a bit of a struggle, will finally make it into the finish line, and Aura finished in 8th place. So we'll make it through. DOG will cross the line, doing a sick 360 just in front of it as well, 4 style points, and Sidzer will be joining them in the danger zone as well. Does still need to make it to the finish, as we saw Strab unfortunately learn on the last map, as there is another way to do it, a little bit cleaner than the way Strab was doing it as well, going for that forwards, kind of turning a little bit in order to get the reactor up. Definitely interesting, and I think we'll see Sidzer probably continue to go for that as well as things go on. Turning sideways to get reactor up rather than going for the full turnaround, going forwards and then turning forwards into the line. 360ing or 180ing in midair instead. Either way, we'll wait and see as we get towards the end of the track. A lot of driving to go between now and then. Sidzer sits in last place out of our danger zone players to kick the round off, as it is a 5, 6, 7, 8 for Artiste, Diogi, Sapphire and Sidzer. But Diogi with a little bit of a rough transition through the middle, and in fact a full crash will fall away from the other danger zone players and need to rely on a mistake from 2 of them in order to make it all the way back up. Sapphire with a very clean middle of the track has overtaken Sidzer, who is now a little way down, bouncing around on the sausage block as well, continuing to lose a little bit of ground to Sapphire. But Sapphire not having the cleanest transitions themselves, and there's a clip from Sapphire as well, overtaken by Sidzer and needing to get some speed back up before the finish of the map here, needing to try and get speed to carry on into that risky fin. Another crash is not going to help with that, as we'll stay on board then with Sidzer. As Artiste looks to be clear out in front, looks to be safe for the time being. Sidzer, yeah, there you go, going for the 180. Reactor up, clean through. Artiste is struggling. Artiste is slow-mo. How far away is Sapphire? There's Sapphire, and he's close enough to snipe Artiste at the finish line. Unfortunate for Artiste, who just could not get that backwards jump. fell off the ramp onto the slow-mo and was overtaken by Saphir at the line. He's a good sport about it, though. You see the XDDDD in chat. Feeling pretty funny about it. Diogi, unfortunately, our Canadian representative, will be eliminated. Nails the risky fin and that turnaround that we saw Sidzer go for as well at the line. As a few of our top players, I think, are going for that style of turnaround, landing sideways on the reactor, getting reactor up and getting over the slow-mo without having to worry about the backwards jump. We do love to see some of those little tricks. I mean, that is one of the strengths of the mini RPG format, right? Sometimes you can approach something that doesn't break the map. It's not a full cut, right? But the intended way to go through that section, you feel like, has to be the backwards ramp. And players have just discovered something that is as efficient, a little bit easier to go for, maybe a little bit more consistent, but it doesn't break the map. And I love that. I do really enjoy that. We're into our 1v1s. It's Mrotw versus Goliath here, and, well, one of these two making an early exit from the final map of the day. Goliath, fantastic turnaround, gained a huge amount of time on everyone else, and has closed the gap down to Mrotw, who, unfortunately for Goliath, does lead the round at the moment. So despite that excellent middle sector, Mrotw continues to lead, and the gap is 8/10. Steady through the last couple of checkpoints, and it is a 1-2 for these two drivers at the moment. With Goliath having to hope that Mrotw makes a mistake at the finish here, it looks like. Very similar final jumps for the two of them there. The gap still 8/10 between them. One jump left to go. Goliath's just going straight backwards, and he's going to end up on the slow-mo. The landing just not lining him up correctly. And Mrotw, with that strat of turning it into a reactor up, flying over the entire slow-mo section forwards, will win the round, will knock Goliath out very early as well, who... Well, I think Goliath's had a little bit of a tough day of it in some ways. 3rd place, 1st place, and then an 8th place, 8th place, 7th place. I think Goliath's driven better than that, frankly. And he's still going to end up as off the podium. He's going to be... we'll see when the results all shake out, but possibly kind of 4th, 5th, 6th seed? Definitely going to be interesting to watch Goliath then in the matches tomorrow, because he has had some fantastic rounds, has looked very, very good, but he's going to be seeded, I think, a little bit lower than maybe his driving today has kind of placed him in terms of overall speed and consistency on the maps. We will see. We'll definitely see. For now, we're back into our next round. Scandir is in the danger zone alongside Sidzer, and, well, we've said it before, we'll say it again. 1v1 against Scandir in an early danger zone is not a place you want to find yourself. Sidzer is having a good go of it at the moment, though. Not far away from Scandir, only a 10th, and we'll see where that is in this checkpoint. 7/10 is the gap between the two of them, after Scandir just absolutely crushed that turnaround off the plastic fence. Continuing to pull away from Sidzer. He's a little bit awkward with Scandir through that transition, a little bit wobbly, but he is still way out in front of anyone else, and that includes his rival in this danger zone, Sidzer. Gap remaining steady at about 1.4 seconds. Just the finish line to go. Let's keep an eye. How's Scandir approaching this finish? You'd have to imagine going for the sideways turnaround in that is exactly... Oh my god, you can zoop! What the hell, man? What the hell? Scandir as surprised as anyone else. And, hey, I don't think Sidzer was catching back up anyway, but that did not help. Well, I'm not sure we'll see anyone manage to replicate that over our remaining rounds on the track, but I guess good to know that it can happen. Oh my lord. That was quick. Well, hey, this round, maybe slightly less drama to be had. Saphir versus Luces looks to maybe even be over a little bit early. Saphir has, unfortunately, had a very early crash. Luces playing a little bit safe on that flying section, has dropped away from the other top twos. He just readjusted mid-air there, but that's fine. I mean, the gap is 5 seconds. The right thing to do is to make sure that you don't crash at this point, frankly. And Luces is looking very good so far to break into another top 4. It's been a good day for Luces as well. With a 4th, a 9th, a 16th, and then a 4th. And this is looking to be another top 4 for them. We'll have to get confirmation from Bayron. Are we in fact getting the... Are we getting a discard? Will the players be discarding their worst result? Or are we counting all 5 tracks for them? Randomize, welcome to the stream. It is bottom 2, you get Danger Zone, and then you 1v1 the other. You have absolutely nailed it in your message there, Randomize. Genius. Genius level behavior, frankly. Is hang on a second. Wait, this got dramatic. Oh, Sapphire! What did he hit? What did he hit? What did he hit? Somebody clipped that. Unfortunately, we were riding on board with Luces. But we can see Sapphire in the distance. Just join the space program. Oh my lord. Incredible round. The finishes on the last 2 rounds have been absolute nonsense. This reactor has all of a sudden decided that it wants to cause problems. It didn't decide Scandir's round even when we saw the Zoop then, but it did most definitely end up deciding that last round. It's Mrotw versus Luces. 4 players remain. The scoreboard is just lying to us briefly. Don't worry about it. And I will just I will edit to add, randomize, that the way this works is we also play this, weekly with much more players, 60, 70, 80 plus players, kind of cup of the day style. And what this does mean using this same format is you have 8 players in the danger zone instead of just the bottom 2 in that situation. But it's the same thing. The players against the danger zone are essentially playing against the other players in the danger zone. And then the bottom 4 end up being eliminated in that case. So rather, unlike Cup of the Day, it becomes a little bit less dramatic. This is dramatic though. Luce is crashing towards the end of the track and now relying on Mrotw to make a mistake. Has the reactor got one more thing left to say? Scandir. Mrotw was fine. Luce is crashing. All of a sudden, it is chaos at this entire section. This reactor has caused significant issues towards the end here. I agree with Strap. Plus. The chaos caused by this reactor is truly fantastic. I love it. Oh, excellent. Excellent. Alright, top 3 looking for a top 2. Mrotw guaranteed top 2 then on this map. And when you've got No Picks versus Scandir, I mean, No Picks also had a great day today. 2nd, 12th, 5th, and then a guaranteed top 3 on this one, but it's looking like it may in fact be top 3 just means 3rd. As a little bit of a crash and then a little bit of a further crash means No Picks is in trouble. And if there is someone that you expect maybe to not make big mistakes when they have a buffer this large, it's probably Scandir. And when I say a buffer this large, I mean, he literally just needs to finish. No Picks has DNF'd the round. Will pick up a 3rd place. And again, very good day for No Picks. 2-5-5-3 is very impressive. Scandir and Mrotw to battle it out one last time. A battle we have seen many times over the last couple of years in Mini RPG of the Week. And so it's fitting that here in the Season 5 finale, it will close out the map. Scandir gets a bit of a zoop. Mrotw will crash into a wall. He'll reverse towards the finish line and finish things out that way. It's going to get messy. It's going to get messy. I'm calling it now. That reactor may end up deciding this final round. Good lucks in chat. Best of luck to all of the players participating. And by all of them, I mean the 2. Scandir and Mrotw. 1v1 one last time. And unlike some of the other tracks, this does not feel like as heavily a Scandir favored track, but that feels like a heavily Scandir favored start. Mrotw forced to double respawn early on. And we'll see what the checkpoint split ends up being the next time Mrotw makes it to 1. It's 5.3 seconds. Artis in chat saying, wait a bit, Scandir. Pokeyu asking him to release. Just slow down. Chill, bro. You don't gotta finish. He's doing it. He's releasing. Scandir has decided to chill. He's quite literally letting Mrotw catch back up a little bit. He's still driving, but the gap is now down 3.5 seconds. Oh, he does a 360. The style points. Here comes Mrotw. And Scandir has somehow, with his 360, managed to perfectly allow Mrotw to catch up while still maintaining about half a car length of lead. Incredible skill. Incredible skill by Scandir. The greatest to ever do it, many people are saying. But now Mrotw has overtaken, and it'll come down to the end. Mrotw just behind. Can Scandir get the zoom? Oh, Scandir missed. Morpio crashes into the gems. He's going the wrong direction. Scandir in slow mode. Morpio wins. Morpio wins as he did a little bit of a U-turn at the finish line after crashing into some crystals. But he will win the map. Oh dear. Oh, unfortunate. Yeah, you went to send a clip and I appreciate it, Randomize. Nightbot is vicious. There you go. Thank you for the clip. What an incredible end to that track. I love it. That was... Well, that'll do it. That will in fact do it. For today at least, that was the seeding phase of Mini RPG of the Week, Season 5's finale. The 5 tracks voted for by the community as the best 5 tracks of Season 5 out of the 25 that we had. And we'll continue on through tomorrow. That locks in our seeding for tomorrow. We'll be heading to knockout round with the top 16. And having a great time doing it. I mean, hey, Scandir looking as terrifying as always, but there's some other very good players as well. I mean, we saw Morpio win that final round with absolutely no funny business happening either. So make sure that you come back tomorrow. We'll be kicking things off at 3 p.m. Central European time. That's 2 p.m. Irish time. Do the conversions yourself. Keep an eye on the RPG and Trial Discord if you do want anything else. I believe if you type !Discord into chat, that would pop up, but I don't remember. Could be an entirely different Discord at this point as well. For now, I'm going to sign off for the day, and I'm going to go and get lunch. Thank you very much for joining. We'll see you all here tomorrow once again.
has got you feeling too much. It's feeling too much for you. Then all my love is gonna dance with someone that shows love, not you. Just dance. If all my love has got you feeling too much, it's feeling too much for you.